Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 760. Now, in this episode, we're going to be talking about some learnings that I acquired over the last weekend where I was invited to speak at a summit. I had the great honor and privilege. I was full of gratitude for going back there, I think for the 7th year in a row, and I actually got an award. I got an award, my first main award. And I'll be honest, I did kind of ask for an award because I saw everyone else getting awards, and I said, I've been here 7 years in a row and I've not had an award. So they gave me an inflatable microphone for a good voice, I think they said. Well, I think they said a great voice. But yeah, I won that award fairly and squarely, and I got to learn a lot from many different kind of people. This event is actually called Unstoppable Influence. What does that mean? Well, we want to be able to influence the world in the most unstoppable way by bringing more light into the world, more essence, power, passion, purpose, mission, vision, all of those things. And that is why I attend that event. I don't really do speaking gigs other than my own, but I'm always, I'll probably keep going back even though I'm not even invited. I might just keep going there. I won the award. That gives me the right? No. But I learn a lot because although I got to speak like 3 or 4 times, I'm also like to be a participant at events. I don't want to just kind of leave all those kind of things. And even when I did, I was logging on Zoom to watch these talks because there's always something to learn. And if I can learn and apply it, it means my life starts to be transformed and I can make a bigger impact in the world. And these guest speakers were really, really nice and amazing. Like very powerful. And not because they knew everything. Not because everyone has to be amazingly charismatic. I know I'm not. I kind of trip over my words all the time. All those kind of things. But they had a story to share. They had a part of them what wanted to share into this world, but it doesn't just start that way. So I want to break it down into 5 learnings that I was just kind of wondering, like, how could I break this down to give this to you that will hopefully make an impact in your life, in any endeavor. I don't care if you got a career, business, no career. I don't care what you do. You can apply these 5 things into your life, and once you do, you will start to live a more magnificent, more gratitude, more love, more life, more passion and purpose, like I briefly said a moment ago, in the most wonderful, amazing way. So what is the first one? Well, one thing I noticed with every single, here's the thing, I'm going to backtrack for a moment. Success leaves clues. It's a strategy. It's not magic. It's not like we've got to discover success. It is right there before us if we look hard enough in the right places. So success leaves clues in any endeavor once again. It is ultimately a strategy. It's a mindset. It's something that we have to apply into our life. Get the discipline of the application to create the freedom that we really, really want. So the first thing I noticed was that everyone had a wake-up call. They had a wake-up call because their life wasn't the way that they wanted it. Some of them had traumatic events happen to them. Now, I've been on this event, so I'm not going to name names. I've been on a few times. So on this event, people have lost their partner. People have been caregivers for their partner. They've been laid off from work, or they've had, say, illness like cancer, and they've had this wake-up call that something has to change. That something just has to stop. And ultimately, despite the external noise, despite all the stress, despite all the conflict, no matter what environment they were in, the most toxic environment, the most confusing environment, all of those things, it became like a recipe that created like this platform to go, I'm ready for a wake-up call. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. There's not going to be another day that goes by where I'm not going to fight for my freedom, my happiness, my success, my wealth, my well-being. That is the wake-up call. I like to call them epiphanies. Like when we have this realization that something has to change. And usually it is that external environment of trauma and stress that brings that out of us. I was actually saying on my talk that innovation happens not in times of peace, but in times of confusion and stress, where we don't know the answers. And that causes us to be innovative. It causes us to be adaptable. The person with the most flexibility controls the situation rather than the situation controlling them. So there's this epiphany that each and every one of them had because of their circumstance. It didn't get born out of happiness. It didn't get born when everything was going well. It was actually born in the darkness. That's when they decided to shine their light and wake up to do something. And I just kind of summarize, I was thinking about this. It is a call to serve. It's a call to be able to go, I'm ready to make a change. It's a call to go, do you know what? I'm ready to serve myself. I'm ready to be an example of what can be done. I'm ready to break free of my past story. I'm being called, and it doesn't have to be externally called. It could be a higher truth if you wish. But there's a part of you in the inside which is called to serve in some way. It's that calling within. That something has to change, and only we are the instigator of change. And I say that with all the most beautiful, wonderful feedback I receive. I always put that back to the person and go, look, you are the instigator of that. You chose to listen. Or those people that go into my program, they took a stand for what is right. Even when all the fear was happening, because that's when they come to see me, when things aren't working well, when there is doom and gloom, there's a part of them goes, I'm ready to take a stand for what is right. And that is the wake-up call. So I ask you how you can reflect upon this. What can be your wake-up call? How long does pain have to persist for you to wake up to go, I'm sick and tired of this? Think about it. Is it going to be another moment, another hour, another week, another month? Is it going to be a year? Is it going to be living in the pain and the struggle for the next 10 years? Is it going to be the moment of our passing that we go, oh my goodness, I've got a wake-up call? I hope not. I hope it doesn't last that long. So realize that we can utilize that pain as our instigator of change. Utilize it to be your wake-up call to serve your life and your freedom. That to me is what I notice in every single one, everyone's speaker or everyone's talk. They had this, something's got to change. I need to wake up. I'm not going to deal with this any longer. The symptoms that I experience, like with my clients, the anxiety, the worry, the fear, the doubt, the fear, twice, because sometimes we feel fear more than once. All of those things, the limiting beliefs of not being worthy, deserving, or enough, feeling like an imposter, feeling like the fear of failure, the fear of getting help. There's going to be a moment in our life where we've got to make a decision. And that is the wake-up call. Now, the second thing is they use that pain to allow them to become the hero of their own life. And I've been talking about this for many, many months, even years, that to become the hero in the movie of our life, we need to utilize that pain and go, do you know what? I'm going to be number one. I'm going to be faced with these trials and tribulations. There's going to be that internal voice going, who are you to have this? Who are you to live a life? And it can be our own voice. It could be echoes of the past, of what we were told through society or friends and family, all those things, the significant events that we've gone through, which created that internal representation that you cannot be the person that you want. But there's a moment in every story where the hero rises up, not just to have the knowingness and the epiphany that something has to change, but it's the calling to act. So the first one is the calling to serve yourself, but also the second part is the call to take action on this. You see, many people know lots of things, but they don't really know. A lot of people have all the information, but they don't really do anything with that information. You could be listening to go, oh, logically makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. It's good to have an epiphany. It's good to take a stand. But if you don't do it, if you don't embody it, if you don't like summon it within you, go, I am ready to act in my life, to take action, massive and inspired action, to do what has to be done, even if the fear is there. I always say, in times of fear, you must choose to decide on what is right. And that is the call of action. You see, the interesting thing is when you make that call of action, just like each and every one of those speakers on that stage, it led them to be on that stage. It led them because they've written books, best-selling books. All of these things, they've helped many hundreds or thousands of people by doing what they do as a practitioner of change in some way. Where it be in business, where it be holistically, it caused them to do something else. It caused them to go something deeper. And I put that into my own experience as well, because my issue, I had that epiphany and wake up that something had to change. Then I was called to take this action. And then because of that decision I made, it created all these other events. I had to take action on the opportunities that I saw around me. I couldn't let them pass me by. It allowed me to like do my first recordings all those years ago. Getting the 1 download, getting the 2 download. That's just me and my dad listening and just checking in if it actually works on the podcast. Then over the weeks and months, we were hitting 1,000, 5,000, and then I was getting 50,000 a month, and then it led to like the 120, the 150. Sometimes we've done 250,000 downloads every single month. At times, not every single, but some months we have hit 250,000 downloads in just the podcast. So something happens when we start to make that epiphany in the calling to serve, but also the calling to take action. And then the interesting thing is, with each and every one of these speakers, just like I was saying about myself, something deeper came along the way, a deeper vision. Now, I've said this probably a few times, I think. Like, what is the purpose of an acorn? What is the purpose of an acorn? You may be thinking it was to feed the squirrels, and you're absolutely right. Maybe it's to grow into an oak tree. Maybe it's to be able to go further than that and have this forest of oak trees. Maybe even further than that one acorn's bigger purpose maybe was to be like for keeping us warm, right? Like fires to evolve humanity. Maybe it's to have structures like homes, right? All these things made out of oak or wood, and all these things, even books for knowledge, for tables, for chairs. All of these things started from something small, and we forget to realize that the dreams that we have can start small, but there's always something bigger than ourselves. And I noticed with each and every one of these speakers, there was that call to dream bigger. So not the call just to serve or to act, but to dream something bigger, to expand your vision to something more. And you won't always know what that is. Like, I definitely did not know I would be doing live streams, events, being flown to this event I'm talking about, or getting like a book deal with Hay House. All of those things, I had zero idea, but I had the belief to dream. I gave myself permission to dream more. And it's very hard to do that when we have the limiting beliefs of not being worthy or deserving or capable, the imposter syndrome, because it limits us. We build these cages within us, this prison that we assume to be true because we've taken it on from those past significant events, and we've started to acquire that we're building the chain or the prison ourselves. After all, we're just taking over that role. Even if those events or people have been far, far away, we've assumed our own prison. And to me, that's not right. So that limiting belief of not being enough, for example, it's hard to dream bigger than what you think you are. Now, I always say, whatever you think you are always more. But it's hard to recognize that because we are limited. So we've got to make a decision to dream bigger by assuming responsibility for our own beliefs. We have to assume responsibility for our emotions. We have to assume responsibility for the way that we act and react. We've got to assume responsibility for our present and our future self. When we do that, I promise you something bigger and greater will then come into fruition. It will just appear to you and you don't know how yet. Maybe you have something on your heart. Maybe it is to write that book or have that business or go up that career path to the highest levels that you desire. Maybe it's that relationship, but that limiting belief is stopping us. And we've got to get to the place of going, do you know what? I'm ready to give up that old identity. I'm ready to give up those beliefs which no longer serve me. Because think about it, beliefs are not who you are. They're what you've acquired, right? You've acquired them through the past experiences. But beliefs change. Maybe you believed in Father Christmas. I still do, by the way, so don't break that belief. But maybe for some silly people, you no longer believe in Father Christmas or Santa Claus, depending what you say. So beliefs come and go, right? It's just what it is. We got to realize that the belief that we hold about ourselves is also just a belief that is illusionary to a degree. We just give it life and permission thinking it is who we are, but it's not who you are. So you've got to make a decision to dream bigger. And that goes into my fourth one, is every single one of them. And I live my life like this as well. Here's how I kind of connect and resonate, is to go all in. All in. All in on your dream. All in on your purpose, all in on your mission, all in on your ambition, all in on your esteem, all in on your emotional wellness. You see, we can't get success when we're just hanging back. It's really, really hard to have success if we're holding on to our past. It's really hard to have success if we're not all in on our dreams. That to me is so important, because otherwise, if you're not all in, bear with me here, if you're not all in, it means somehow, some way you are more dedicated to stay the same. Now, don't throw rocks at me here. I know I'm pushing up against your beliefs and the values, because it's not very nice to be told that. And I'm not letting people off in your past who did those mean things. I'm not saying that. In fact, I'm trying to liberate you from those people by not giving your power to those people or to your past, to that pain. You see, when you go all in on yourself, you live the life of your dreams. Yes, it's a challenge, but do you know what's worse as a challenge? Staying the same. Being in the pain, being in the scarcity, being in the worry, being in the doubt, being in the emotions, that does not serve you, and it does not serve those in your life. It doesn't serve the world, and I want to be of service to the world. I want to leave the world in a better place than I came into this world. That's my goal and dream. Whether it happens or not, I don't know, but that is when I'm committed and decisive and all in. So once again, to push up against those values or those beliefs in a way which makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, if we're not dedicated to being all in, it means we're dedicated to stay the same. And that to me is scarily good, because then we go, whoa, that's an epiphany. I'm not going to be committed to staying the same anymore. I'm going to do whatever it takes. So that is the call to decide and declare that you are ready to live the life of your dream, to go all in on your purpose. And it can be a big purpose, it can be a small purpose. All purposes are great purposes, but you've got to go all in on you. All in on your happiness, all in your esteem and your psychology, all in mastering what success is. Remember I said right at the beginning, success leaves clues. It is a strategy. It's not magic. So once you start to go all in, you start to study the art and the science of success. And that could be the success of being free of not being good enough. It could be the success of being good and great at business. It could be the success of relationships, the success of getting back to health again. But whatever it is, you've got to go all in on your future. You've got to do whatever it takes to do the change that has to be done. I really believe that. No one's going to help us. Like, they can assist us, But if you're not doing it, then they're not really helping us. We're just not receiving the right help because we're not taking responsibility to go, okay, Joseph, I'm now ready to make that change. I'm now ready to decide and declare, even if I don't know how, I'm going to do what has to be done for my heart, my spirit, my future, my psychology, my physical health, my abundance, my financial abundance, my career abundance, my relationship abundance. You've got to go all in. Otherwise, once again, you're more dedicated to staying the same. The how, and this is what I actually teach in my program, and this seems like magic because it is magical because it surprises me each and every time. You got to find out what you want. You got to realize not how to get there, but what you want, why you want it, and recognize who you are to be that person. What is the identity that has to happen? And I can promise you, not feeling good enough, worthy, or deserving is not going to be in that recipe to success. It is time to give up those limiting beliefs. And the last one, the fifth one, is each and every one on that event. And I had the honor to be able to connect with everyone, hug everyone, really connect. And I love meeting people in real life, and it's such an honor to do so. But as an observer, just like sitting in the background at the back of the room observing these talks and everyone in the room, they all had each other's back. They all wanted to lift them up. Whoever was on stage, lift it up. Everyone in the audience, I see them looking around, they're going, you've got this, you can do this. You see, if you have a team behind you, if you have supporters who lift you up, nothing's going to stop you. You've got to stand on the shoulders of giants. You've got to be able to be with people who are going to lift you up, who know more than you, who can take you by the hand and move them up with you. Yes, you've got to walk with them, take the action, but when you are surrounded with people who support you, your mission, your vision, your health, your wealth, all of those things, nothing's going to stop you. They say you are the sum of the 5 closest people around you. So ask yourself, who are you surrounding yourself with? And if you haven't got the right people, it is time to look for the right people. Who can you team up with today or in the next week? Someone who knows the answer, the solution to your problem, or the how to get you from where you are to where you want to be. Seek those people out. It doesn't have to be in person. It can be online. It could be anything. But once you surround yourself with people who lift you up, and I believe that is the foundation to all friendships and relationships, supporting one another, and that means we begin to thrive together. You don't want to be winning by yourself, because then we see it as a competition that I've got to win. And I was talking to actually my trainer about this today, and he said, sometimes people think of I've got to win, and in order for me to win, you've got to lose. And that is obviously, like he knows, a terrible psychology to have. It's not what we want. We want something where we win together. In ecology, they call it good to self, good to others, and good for the world. Now, if you have that as your psychology and allow people in your environment to support you, to model from success, stand on the shoulders of giants, you are taking a call to connect with a like minds. So that community can lift you up. So remember this, let's have a recap. The first one is a wake-up call, a call to serve. The second one is recognizing your pain can allow you to become the hero. It can make you from the victim to the victor. And that is the call to act upon your life, your happiness, because we're sick and tired of staying the same. And then the other one is having a deeper vision, like the acorn. There's so much more to be discovered. There's so much more potentiality that we cannot see. So we need to make and realize that this pain that we have is no longer going to be there. And we have a call to dream bigger. And you don't even know what that is at times. But when you do, it will appear before you, just like it did for me. I solved my problem and then I fell into doing what I do. It was the most amazing mistake in my life. But my problem made me wake up. I found and I sought a lot of different places, but I found the success and the steps to make all limiting beliefs of not being worthy, deserving, and anxiety and blushing to disappear. I found it. And then the deeper vision was me to help as many people as possible, whether it be for free or whether it be for my what I believe a world-class premium program that I do, which is customized for the people who go onto it. Application only, of course. But that came later once I realized I fell into this, and there was that deeper vision that I began to buy into. And then to decide that you're all in on that vision, that you're ready to do whatever it takes, because otherwise we're more committed to staying the same. And then the last one, to plug yourself into a community which will help you lift you up. And of course, that you must do that too. You don't want to win just so other people can lose. You want to win while other people are around you, and you can support them, love on them, lift them up, think of them, and just kind of see how you can serve and support them, and they will be a mirror back to you. When you find the right people, you will be totally aligned and congruent with your dreams, your goals, in the most wonderful ways. So that is what I learned from my event, from all the people on stage, from all the talks that I listened to, from Natasha, the owner and the leader of that, was to model that success. And in fact, it's like just to reaffirm, like, oh, that's how I did this. That's how I did that. That's how I did this. Here's my interpretation of it. And I think that is a great set of strategies that you have to apply to do today. Now with that, I'm going to close off this podcast episode. This has been broadcasted live on youtube.com/Joseph Clough, and I'm going to speak to everyone on the live after this in a few moments. But of course, if you feel like an imposter, if you feel like you are not enough, worthy or deserving, or you're going to get kind of found out, and you're decisive, you're committed, you actually follow the 5 things of the call to serve, the call to act, the call to dream bigger, the call to declare and decide, and the call to connect with me and my team and everyone in the program, and you're invested in yourself. It's not free. It is a significant investment which will give you the return of a lifetime. You can go to josephclough.info/talk. josephclough.info/talk, where you get to book a time on our calendar. It'll be a one-to-one Zoom call with us, and then you'll fill out an application. When you fill out that application, you'll then get to a page where you'll see all the other information, and we'll get clear on exactly where you are, where you want to be, what's getting in the way, and then find out the customized strategy to make it a reality. We may invite you into our program, and then I'll get to work with you, shine with you. I just love everyone I want to work with, because I get to know them personally, and I get to recognize their dreams and their essence. And I just absolutely love that for those who we want in the program. So once again, that is josephclough.info/talk. And with that, my friends, I look forward to speaking to you on a future episode. Listen to this again, write it down, apply it, and do what has to be done. So with that, many thanks and goodbye.